Level 1 fieldwork focused on the person by Jessica Owens Mabel. Our team at Converge in York, St. John was me and Charlotte Gunning. We did a comic strip group where the group members came in to do comic strip art of their choosing when they attended. The person that really affected me most, we will call him F, they told me he would be coming and that he may be very shy and quiet, but that he was someone who could create really great art. When he showed up, he was very quiet and shy and a little bit withdrawn. He was hesitant to engage at first, and he quietly sat in the corner. I also noticed that he put a different name on his name tag than his real name. So I think he was just kind of going for a little anonymity there, which we let go. At first, after we went around and everyone drew their comic strips and everybody was sort of talking, he did not participate in the conversation. But at the end, we asked who wanted to share their comic strips. And I was planning on leaving him alone because I thought he didn't really want to share. But when I saw someone else pick up their comic strip that was next to him, I saw him hesitate like he was going to pick his up as well. So when they were finished, I did directly ask him if he'd want to share. And he did. And he held up his comic strip, and it was amazing. His artistic ability was wonderful. What I felt like was my strength in that is I was watching for the readiness of his signals. His hand like jerked a little bit, so I knew he wanted to present with everybody. And I made sure to present everybody with an opportunity to engage voluntarily. While he was presenting, his hands were shaking the entire time. He was visibly nervous, but everyone gave him positive feedback, and you could tell it boosted his confidence and his engagement and sense of belonging. And he actually started talking to one of the girls next to him because he recognized her artwork because she sells it around town. This showed me how much even small acts of participation can strengthen self-expression and social connection, even helping you to overcome emotional regulation challenges like hesitation and nervousness. The social withdrawal related to self-esteem and group anxiety and confidence and sense of belonging improved when we encouraged him. These psychosocial factors directly shape the client's ability to participate meaningfully. Regarding the OTPF4 Table 9, with emotional regulation, attention, motivation, interpersonal skills, and self-expression, I saw all of these things in all these client factors reinforced for me how occupation can be both a challenge and a strength. The important principles from our first term that I felt were relevant here were therapeutic use of self, group dynamics, and activity analysis. Conscious application of strategies. We offered choice when you came in. There were lots of choices of different types of pens, pencils, different types of comic strips that they could use. We made another table away from us in case someone wanted to sit alone. We created a safe space, and we used nonverbal observation to gauge readiness for participation. So, with therapeutic use of self, obviously, it refers to interpersonal skills, use of self, emotional intelligence, empathy, and self disclosure. I think we used all of these in our group. I shared with a girl next to me who was hesitant that I was having a hard time thinking of a design. And she said, yeah, she was too. And so that helped her kind of feel a little better that she wasn't in there with everybody just sailing through the activity. Empathy for the people who were having a little bit of trouble. And it was really great. We could tell that people were starting to interact, and a lot of people had a lot of fun. We did give space to the people who needed a little bit of space, and we respected autonomy. We didn't give everybody direct, specific instructions. We sort of let them do whatever they wanted, and everyone chose a very different style of comic strip. Providing gentle encouragement was also very important to our situation. I was surprised at how nervous I was right before the group session. I guess that also applies to this presentation as well, because I feel very confident going in, but then when I start speaking, everything changes just a bit. I have learned in the last two presentations that I've done to write myself a script to read so that at least I feel a little more confident and I can stay focused and on track. The part I felt good about was knowing how to meet the group participants where they were. I felt like I had the ability to connect and encourage and create space, safe participation. Um, it was really nice to see how powerful small prompts were in building trust. And I was very happy to see people open up and participate. Here are two examples of two different students that gave me permission to take their picture. I take a picture of their comic strip so that I could bring it home with me. The first one, it's a little hard to read on this screen, the smaller screen, but she created a fairy that was blossoming out of a flower and made friends with a ladybug, which I thought was beautiful. And this was an example of a person who sailed through the process. She made this first one in the first, I don't know, 10 minutes of the group, and then was sitting there, and I told her, "You're welcome to make another." And so she did, and she knocked out another one, and it was a cat who found a remote control and used it to have fish start raining down on her. I thought that was very sweet. And then the second comic strip here took a whole other track. And this was actually one of the first one was from a Converge student. The second one was from a Converge teacher, who I think was a student at one point. And it was her, basically her self talk as she got herself through going back to graduate school and whether she could do it or not. And she used emojis to create that. And I thought that was really great. She was really proud of it as well. So, the SMART goal I came up with. The SMART goal I came up with sort of ties to applying OT theories and models in practice, like on the fly. I feel like I have a little bit of a difficulty just grabbing those out of the air and applying them without having to look them up and find a bunch of information and feel confident about it. And I think that was part of what made me feel a little nervous when I was doing my presentation. So the SMART goal I came up with was that I will create and use a quick reference tool, either flashcards or a one-page summary sheet of at least 3 OT theories models, like MOHO, PEO, or CMOPE, to guide intervention planning during client sessions, future client sessions. I will correctly reference and apply an appropriate OT theory model in at least 80% of client interactions as documented in mock session notes. I figured I could do this by taking people or different case studies from our class and trying to apply, think off the fly what model or theory applied to them. I will review and update the reference tool weekly, integrating examples from classroom activities to strengthen recall. And that's where I felt like I could do it. If I had a quick reference guide and I could just kind of go back and look at it every time we're talking about different scenarios, I thought that might be helpful. And being able to connect practice to theory will help professional reasoning and enhance the quality of client care. Within 8 weeks, I will independently and consistently integrate OT theories and models into mock sessions that I create. I figured I could just sort of do some, just a baseline session and pull a few different traits out of the air and sort of see how I would apply these different theories and models. I just want to get more confident in being able to easily access these things and not just try to think back to first term and take a lot of time doing so. So anyway, that's my presentation on my reflection for York St. John. Going to Converge. I had a great time and I loved being able to apply things in real time. And here are my references. Thank you.